Hey guys, welcome to the third video in the one sticking series. Guys, this is a blast. And walking into the woods with 4 pounds of gear, you know, 2.7 pounds with this little stick. Of course, you guys know we use Dano's Ultimate One Stick here. 2.7 pounds, 1.3 pounds of canyon rope, 4 pounds. We walk into the woods, we can climb any tree we want to, up to 40 foot high, and walk out. Guys, it is pretty awesome. Let's show you the details, the really specifics, the nitty gritty in this video. We're not going to teach you how to one stick. Scott's already done that for us. We're going to show you some of the basics though that we've kind of discovered along the way that may help you in your journey along the one sticking avenue. So stick with us. Okay guys, one of the little tips that I've learned in doing this since I've been doing it is go ahead and use your chest to hold this. If there's a limb you need to go over it. And then once you get ready to attach the stick, I try to make sure that all 4 standoffs have good points of contact. And then I loop it over like we've talked about here. But then grab this bottom stick, pull out, and then pull it down. That's how you set it so that you don't get any kickouts or anything like that. So, and then a lot of times I will lay that am steel rope back behind this step so it doesn't get in my way. But that's how I get started when I'm getting ready to climb. Now, let's talk about this too. One of the things that a lot of people noticed in that first video when Scott was instructing us how to do it was the tether slack. And, you know, there's fall factors that you can figure into and figure out how much it's going to hurt you and all that stuff like that. If you're concerned about that, guys, take your tether, right? I keep my lines of belt. I keep it daisy chained over here on the side of my saddle. You can use your lineman belt and affix it just like you would if you were going to go ahead and climb climbing sticks, right? Lean back into it. As I get ready to move up, lean back into it again if you need to, but always keep your lineman belt up above you, right? So if you're one of those guys, and then you can tighten it up, lean back. Now I can affix my tether, repeat the process. If you're one of those guys that was really concerned about the tether slack, there's your way around it. You know, it is what it is. That's not saying I'm going to do that all the time, but if you're one of those guys that was really concerned about it, there you go, there's a way around it. One of the things, you know, you saw me or heard me talk about the fact that, honestly, I thought one sticking was ludicrous. I thought it was ridiculous. And the reason why is it always looked so hard in all the other videos I saw. And I want to point out, because even on our video, right, I mean, it's been met with resounding success. A lot of people have seen that video and thought, wow, that's cool, I want to try it. And I still have people that will in the comment section go, oh my god, it would be so much easier to climb 4 sticks, right? And dude, I get it, but I want to show you that how much of a calorie burn is in this, how hard this is. If you can literally let yourself swing in to your legs, to your thighs, right? Wrap your feet around if you want to, I don't care. Sometimes I'll kind of hold it out here like this. But this is 0 effort. All the work is being done by this tether. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting here. Nothing, okay? Then all I'm going to do is turn, grab this, pull it up. With my hand, I'm going to ease this rope out of the cam cleat. Yeah, you're going to have to trust your gear. If you're going to saddle hunt, you're going to have to trust your gear. And then all I'm going to do is put this up. I'm still not doing anything. There's no effort here. I'm going to stand out, let the rope hold this for me. I'm letting this rope do all the work. And all I'm doing is bringing this rope, this am steel rope on my one stick around so that I can go around the tree, come back through the cam cleat, over, and I'm going to set the stick. And then, if you know, you talk about climbing 4 sticks, you've got to climb sticks anyway, right? Dig your toe in, and go in. Now, if you're worried about tether slack, at this point, put your lineman belt on. If you're worried about it, we encourage you to do that. But all you're doing, guys, is climbing. Move your tether up. Now, if I'm going to go over this limb, I would definitely stop, put my lineman belt on, undo the tether, going up, keep going. That's how you go around limbs. But guys, there's no calorie burn here. This is so simple. It really is so easy. Not only can a 13-year-old do it, it's so easy a 50-year-old can do it. You know, a lot of people talk about when if you need to come back down, or if you drop something, you can just rappel down, leave your rope up in the tree at 25, 30 foot high, and one stick back up, which you can, and I've done it a bunch of times already. But it is a lot easier to go ahead and bring your rope down with you so that you take your rope back up, and here's why. Go ahead and push yourself out from the tree. Let that rope hold your platform. Now that if I step off to the side here, I'm using 0 calories, 0 energy to hold myself. I'm just suspended here. But it's also suspending and holding my one stick in place. So now I've got both hands free to go ahead and bring my rope around the tree, through the cam cleat, and back around again. Okay guys, this is the Madrock Safeguard that was featured in the very first video that, well, frankly, everybody in the country ran out and bought every single one of them. They're out right now. But let me show you how to thread it if you're lucky enough to get one. So I start with this handle back here facing away from me. The opener for the carabiner is on the left side. Okay, we're going to open it up, and you'll see it actually has a descriptive icons on both sides. The rope is going to go through this way and then back up through that way, and then we're just going to close it upon itself. Then I take my carabiner and I go from this side, and there's a reason why I do that, because that way as I turn it, as I push it through and turn it, you'll notice I've got hockey tape on it, almost like I do with my Kong duck, so it's really quiet there. Now my gate is open to clip my bridge in this way. Then I can just pull up, and it will hold me. All my weight is leaning back. So I don't need an extra ascender like a Ropeman 1 or a Ropeman 2 or a Kong duck or a CT rolling lock or something like that. My Madrock serves dual duty. It's my rappel device. It's also what holds me up when I'm in stand and able to shoot, everything like that. Okay guys, so if you need to adjust it up and down while you're staying on your platform or something, you can take a little pressure off of it and you can move it with your hand, just pulling it up and down like this. Okay, but I will tell you, when you got pressure on it, even I'm trying to move it, it's almost impossible to get it to move like that, which makes me feel really secure. If you want to move it and you're ready to come down a little bit with pressure on it, grab the handle and just ease it down like that. Let go of the handle, it stops. Okay guys, one of the things that we want to talk about is alternatives to the Madrock. Everybody in the country is out of them, we all know that. Sorry about that. So for $15, a straight 8, a figure 8 rappelling device, $15. You got this from westspur.com. Go ahead and make a bite with your rope, stick it through the figure 8, and come out on this side. What you'll see is I'm right-handed. I want my belay hand and my strong hand on the right side. If you were left-handed, you would reverse this process and have that come out on your left side. Okay. With me being right-handed, I want the tag end, the belay side of the rope, to come out on my strong side. Then I'm just going to clip my carabiner into it. And I actually want that a little backwards because I'm going to open it so that my gate is up. Just a nice thing to do. And then guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second carabiner. I'm going to back up this figure 8. I'm going to back it up with an Autoblock. So I've just got a straight carabiner, and this is a piece of bill jammy. Again, for $15, you could make your own, tie it yourself. I just ordered it from doublesteps.com as a bill jammy. And I'm going to clip into my lineman belt loop here. And all I'm going to do is take the tag end, again, below the figure 8 on my belay side. I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap it 3 times. So 1, 2, I don't want where it's spliced in my way. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 times over, and then I'm going to bring that eye up, if I can keep hold of it, dress my knot up, and go into it and clip into my lineman belt. So all I did was, I've got a loop, 3 wraps around, and another loop. It's almost sort of like a Prusik knot, but it's a way to, it's technically called an Autoblock. So let me show you how easy it is to rappel with this. Okay guys, the figure 8 is going to act as the friction device. My Autoblock is actually what's stopping me. So I'm going to take my hand and I can just move the Autoblock Autoblock back. As soon as I let go, I stop. So this basically functions as the handle on the Madrock. If I just pull it back just slightly, I can keep my guide hand up here if I want to. See, I stop as instant I let go. $15 and a piece of cord. Really good alternative, really safe. A lot of mountaineering, a lot of rappelling people use this system. Okay guys, we wanted to provide you with one more alternative method to the Madrock Safeguard. And we're going, you know, last time we were $15 plus a piece of cord. This time we're going to go basically free other than a carabiner. So I'm sure you've got a carabiner sitting around. What we're going to do is show you how to tie a Munter hitch and rappel with that. So guys, what you're going to do is take your hand and flip this over, flip that rope over. So all you've done is just created a loop with it like that, okay? You're turning it away from you. Now I'm going to do it one more time and create that loop again. Now I've got a twist there in the rope, and I'll come back all the way through that and then clip in here, and that will flip over into a Munter hitch. You'll see I've got the tag end on my right side over here, and pull up. It'll always flip back the right direction, but that's just an easy way, super easy way to tie a Munter hitch. Okay, but obviously that's not going to give you a stop unless you back it up with an Autoblock. So let's take our bill jammy, get that where it's the sewn eye out of the way, get that completely out of the way here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 wraps around. Now we've got this backed up with our Autoblock. Basically it's the same thing as that figure 8. It won't move until I move the Autoblock. Just a good simple way to do it. You can adjust it up easy. Pull your Autoblock up. And again, I'm back up to, now one thing I want to do, make sure that this tag end is coming through on the spine end of the carabiner. You don't want to have that flipped and then have this rope coming down and opening up your gate. But just an option for you guys if you want to go $100 Safeguard, which are sold out right now. They should be coming back in stock in the next week or two. Then you got the $15 figure 8, and you got basically free. So hopefully that helps you guys if you want to take on and tackle this climbing method. It is a really easy way to do it. Get you out there one sticking with no problem. So guys, what do you do? I just rappelled down. You saw me hit the ground here. The first thing we've got to do once we hit the ground is you've got to take this Madrock off, okay? Or whatever the device you're using. We're going to show you several different devices in this video of alternatives to the Madrock. But you need to take this off and free it up so there's nothing on this rope. And the reason why is, guys, we're going to take this rope and we're going to pull it back down in through itself. Okay? So as you can see, this tag end of this rope is going back up through that quick link. If the Madrock was still on it, it wouldn't be able to go through it. That's also why we attach the carabiner to the knot end so we don't pull the knot up through there and it gets caught in all those forks and crotches and limbs and everything else. See, that rope's going up and over and through everything, and then we're just going to pull it all the way down. Really doesn't matter what it goes through because it's just a straight tag end. Hey guys, one of the things that we want to talk about is, Scott was adamant about using Dynaglide and not paracord. And here's the reason why, and here's the reason why we go with 40 foot. Rarely will I ever hunt 40 foot high. I usually have about, you can see about that much rope left over after one of my hunts. I was about 30 foot high right there on that rappel in that instance. So I've got 40 foot of Dynaglide, and if I was straight down, I would be 30 foot from where I attached that rope to. But sometimes it's beneficial to attach this Dynaglide up there and then walk out at an angle, which is going to lengthen the amount of Dynaglide that I need. Okay, and once you get that long of a distance, paracord 550, everyone says, oh, just use paracord 550. Guys, this is 25 cents a foot. Don't cheap out on this part because this has zero stretch on it. So So you can wrap this around your hand, and you can see how much easier it is to pull. It's not stretching at all. So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm pulling behind that knot, and notice that tag in. You go ahead and zero in right there, because that's what happens. I'm pulling that rope back through the quick link. See how that's pulling back through? Now it freed itself. All I got to do is pull it on down to me, pull it out of the tree. So guys, that's it. That's how easy it is. And then, you know, if you remember that first video, see, here's my carabiner right behind it. Remember that first video I said, and I may have just made the comments on the forums, on the boards, whatever, but I talked about how this was going to be so beneficial to Gabe. At the end of it, he doesn't have 4 sticks to pack up, a backpack, all that stuff. Guys, literally, here's what I do is I take it, start winding, wind this Dynaglide up in a figure 8, just like this. Again, 40 foot will take me, 30 seconds or so to wind up, maybe a minute. So wind that up, slip that off my pinky and thumb, dump it in my dump pouch. Pick up my 40 foot of canyon rope, and here's what I do. I just wrap it around and around like I'm winding an extension cord. There's probably better ways to do it. This is just the way I do it. Fold it up, fold it in half. And if you watch the TX5 review on our channel, you'll know that Matthew's dump pouches are big enough to hold all 40 foot. I can undo this little thing right here. If I was hunting, I'd have my bow with me, pick up my bow, and walk off. Okay guys, I wanted to give you a close-up of this little thing. This is by Matthew Tompkins at TX5 Custom Gear. He makes this as a really nifty little piece of webbing here with this buckle on it, and it comes really in handy for saddle hunters, because once you roll this up, and when you get ready to come down, you can just clip on to the corresponding buckle over here, and you got your hands free. The neat thing about it is I think that sells for $12, and he sells these extra half pieces for $6, so you can buy one $12 piece, put a whole bunch of these $6 pieces on whatever saddles, platforms, stands you've got, and then as you're coming down, you just clip it on, you got your hands free for everything. So really nice, that way you don't have to loop it over your shoulder or hold it in your elbow or whatever. So I just wanted to show you that. Hey guys, one of the things that we want to do is show you how to tie on a quick link properly. And while we're on the subject of quick links, this is what got me started. I just hunted a few, well, I don't know, probably close to a dozen hunts on this or so. It's just a hardware store quick link. Bought it probably at Ace Hardware or a Tractor Supply Company or something like that. But they're not really rated for climbing like a lot of the mountaineering and rappelling stuff like that. But I did want to show you, I tied a scaffold knot on. We're going to undo this scaffold knot, and I ordered one from quick link from Petzl. It is rated to handle what we're going to be doing here, and so I'm going to undo this scaffold knot, put the Petzl quick link on, and put this one back in the garage, back where the normal quick link stuff is. But I wanted to kind of show you how tight I've been working with this a little bit just to get it to slide down. It is a scaffold knot tightens up the more you use it, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to do this off camera because it is taking a long time for me to get this scaffold knot undone. I'm probably going to have to work with it with a screwdriver or something like that. It is really on super tight. It's going to take a long time, but we're going to undo this one, and I'm going to retie it, show you how that is with the Petzl on there, and that way we can show you exactly how to do it so you'll know as well. Okay guys, we got the Ace Hardware, the old Tractor Supply Company quick link off. We're going to retie a scaffold knot now with our new rated Petzl quick link. And we're going to do that with a scaffold knot. And I can tell you this is an awesome knot because it took me almost 10 minutes to tear that knot apart and get that old quick link off. I mean, I am 1,000,000,000% confident after, just a few hangs and rappels with this, that knot was doing nothing but getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and I actually had to get a screwdriver and just wedge and get it. It took me literally almost 10 minutes. So we're going to take the new quick link, slide it up onto the canyon rope, and I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about how long should the tag end be to start with. So I got a tape measure out, and we're going to run it roughly about 18 inches. So 18 inches here of tag in to make this scaffold knot. And the way I do it, guys, I use my finger as like a placeholder. So actually I like to do it with the tag in underneath, lay my finger on top, and then what I'm going to do is just wrap around my finger and the rope. So 1, 2, you want 3 full turns. So there's 1, 2, 3 full turns around it. Then I'm going to slip my finger out and work that tag back in that loop that I just created. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull really tight, start pulling tighter and tighter and working that knot tight. You want a little bit exposed there for it to, you want these loops to tighten down on the rope, not on the quick link. And I just keep working it tighter and tighter. And you'll see that the more you pull, the tighter it gets in itself. But I want those loops super tight. There you go, guys. So the main thing, you want to make sure you got 1, 2, 3 full twists and a little bit of tag in left. I can tell you it's not going to do anything but tighten down. If you feel more comfortable with a longer tag in, go for it. I like my knot to kind of look really nice and neat, and I can tell you from experience, it's not going anywhere. So that's how you do a scaffold knot. Use your finger as a placeholder, 3 full twists over it, and then go back in through the 3 twists and come out. So hopefully that helps you. Okay, guys, one of the important little details that you will find quickly becomes a necessity is, I've never had a tether slip on me on a tree, be it, if I'm hunting sweet gum or hickory or oak or whatever. I've really never had my tether slip on me. A lot of guys on the forums complain about that. But you will when you go to one sticking and side load your tether, and you have to go to a quick link like this, as opposed to running through a figure 8 or a sonai or something like that. This quick link inside there is very, very slick. So when you go around a tree, let's say my wrist is the tree here, and you can see that the rope itself is going through the quick link and it just wants to fall, right? So the best thing to do that we found is get you a 12-inch long Night Eyes gear tie. It's wrapped around this end 2 or 3 times here, hold it really good there, and then when you girth hitch it around the tree, you can take the long tag end of that and then just wrap it a couple times. We'll show you that when we get on the tree. I wanted to point that out to you right now. That's what is holding this up and makes it really nice and easy so that that doesn't fall down the tree. Now the one caveat with that is when you get ready to come down, and right before you rappel down and you tie on your pull down rope, the Dynaglide, right? You need to undo this Night Eyes gear tie. Otherwise, you're not pulling it down. You're going back up to undo this Night Eyes gear tie. But that Night Eyes gear tie is a quick, nice, handy little cheap, effective way to make sure that your tether's not falling down on you as you're going up a tree. Okay, guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to splice a continuous loop onto the end of our canyon rope here. And we're going to use our Dynaglide to do that. It is basically the exact same properties of AMSeal. It's a hollow core rope that you can kind of push and open up on the inside. Makes it easily spliceable. You can bury it back in itself. And what we're going to do is going to take this canyon rope, and the first thing we're going to do is make a place for our continuous loop, okay? And we're going to take a propane torch. Every good home archery shop needs one of these. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take a common household nail. We're going to heat this sucker up, get it really, really, really super hot. Once we get that really hot, we're going to be safe and turn our torch off. Now I'm going to take this canyon rope and just stick it right through. And what we've done, guys, is we made a hole right through the end of that. I did it just shy of this this heat shrink end, the tubing there on the end. Now we've got a nice, pretty round hole to stick our Dynaglide through. So we can take it, make sure that's fairly cool. We're going to take our Dynaglide, stick it right through there, and now that's not coming out. It's right through the dead center of that. Now this is 12 inches of Dynaglide, and from here, I'm going to eyeball it. That's enough. What I want to do is I want to make a loop big enough that that loop will go over my bow stabilizer. I'm going to use that to haul my bow up and down the tree, haul it up and lower the bow down. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I know that that will fit around my stabilizer. So at that point, I've got plenty enough to bury on both ends. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it there, and I'm going to spread this out. And I actually have a second nail somewhere. Here we go. I don't want to use that first nail because it's still piping hot. I don't want to grab it. But I'm just going to take this nail and stick it right dead center in the middle of this Dynaglide. And all I'm doing is basically doing the same thing I did to the canyon rope. I'm making a nice hole. And what I'm going to do, guys, this is a little piece of wire out of it's like a 14 gauge wire. It's left over from an invisible fence I installed over the summer for our dogs. And I just took it, had, you know, a red and a black wire. I took one of the wires off, I stripped the insulation off, and folded it in half. And now I'm going to go in from the back side. I'm using that hole to come out the front. Now I can grab. Actually, I probably should have went the other way. I thought I was going to go this way. I was looking at the rope wrong when I looked at it. But I want to grab the tag end. I'm going to stick through this. And I'm just going to pull it back through itself. So now what I've done is I've pulled this through that tag end. And at this point I'm going to kind of, again, eyeball it and look and go, okay, I want to take this tag end through that end of the rope. I want to make sure that I leave myself a big enough loop to go over my stabilizer. That's really all I'm concerned about. I'm using this nail again to punch a hole dead center in that tag end. Now I'm going to take this wire and go back up through. And I want to make sure I go through the right side so that when I grab this tag end, I'm pulling it right straight down into the rope. And sometimes you got to pull and twist just a little bit. Okay. Take the pressure off the rope with my knees. And there we go. We've kind of got it locked about as much as you can. There. That rope is that loop is plenty big enough to go around my stabilizer. So at this point, guys, all I'm going to do is, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I don't need that much bury. So I'm really comfortable with about that much bury. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off that much, and I'm going to say, okay, on this side, you know what, about that much bury, I'm fine with it. And bury is the amount, the length of the tag end that's going to be inserted back into itself. We're burying the rope back into itself, right? That will be the bury. And then the other thing I want to show you this, guys, is I'm going to take this nail that I used to punch the holes in, and I'm going to punch it through the very end and start separating these strands out. So again, I'm going to separate right now the very end using this nail to go through the middle of the rope, and I'm just pulling down and pulling it out to separate these strands. The reason I'm going to do that, guys, is I'm going to get a little bit longer strands, And then I'm going to figure out approximately how many strands are in this rope. There's probably going to be about 12 or so. I'm just guessing 12 to 14, just a wild guess. And I'm going to remove about half of those back to where I first started separating this. What that's going to do is that's going to allow me to taper that bury really effectively, real pretty. So it's going to taper back into itself, and it's going to come into a taper. It's not going to have two big humps there where that rope would have just ended abruptly. I'm going to taper it really nice and smoothly, and you won't be able to tell where the bury starts and where it stops. That's the part of that. So we'll cut a few of these out. I'm just going to randomly pick a couple and try to cut about half of them out. I'll just let them fall to the floor. We'll pick those up later. I'm going to randomly pick about half of these so that as I get to the end of it and it buries inside of itself, it's going to taper really nice and prettily. But we'll continue on with that, and then we'll come back and show you how to do the bury. Okay guys, we're back after thinning this out a little bit. What I did was I cut about half of each strand, the number of strands on here, so you'll see that there's not near as many left as there were. So now at this point, all I've got to do is come down and determine how long this is going to be, how much of it is going to bury or fit back up inside that rope. Okay, so obviously it comes from where we locked it together, and I'm pulling that down to about right there, and I need to start below where that tag end is going to start, and I can just push and make an opening right there. When I push and make that opening, I'm going to take the wire, insert it up inside that rope, and then I'm just going to feed, I'm just going to keep pushing this little wire up inside. It's a hollow core rope. I'm going to push it all the way up, and eventually I'm going to come out as close as I can to where those ropes pass through each other. Okay, I'm going to make it, the closer you come out to that point where those ropes intersect, those tag ends intersect, the cleaner and tighter and neater and the more professional looking a job it will be. So I came out there, I'm going to milk it down a little bit, and I'm going to take this tag end and I'm going to go ahead and push a little bit more so that I've got, this wire is flexible. Open it up and push this, where that taper is going to be, I'm going to push it into the wire. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back through and back out. If you can see, I pulled that tag in all the way out. I can take the wire off. I've got my taper sticking out, and at this point all I'm going to do is begin milking that outer hollow core out over the taper. And the end of that bury will disappear like that. All we're going to do, guys, is repeat the other side, and we will be done, and we'll come back and show you exactly how we lift up a bow with this. So guys, we're finishing up milking in the second bury. So now we've got one on one side, one on the other, which makes us a continuous loop. Now, how do you use this? How do you get a bow up from the ground? Here's the way that I do it. I go through the cam, take that loop, go over the stabilizer, and just pull it right up. Okay? If you've got a quiver on your bow, which most of us do, I like to pull my bow up so that the nocks are trailing the bow. So let's say we go, my son has this is my oldest son's bow. It's got a little bit different stabilizer, but I like to pull it up so that the nocks are trailing up. So if I'm pulling up through branches and stuff like that, the quiver is protecting the arrows and the nocks are coming at the trailing edge or the last thing up. Conversely, as I'm lowering the bow, I run it through the opposite cam. I run it through the bottom cam. And I hook over the stabilizer with my continuous loop, and I lower it that way so that it lowers through, and again, the knocks are the trailing in as it's going down through the limbs and hitting the ground. And when it hits the ground, just let it go softly, lay it off to the side, and then just go ahead and rappel on down. So we'll show you that out in the tree, but I want to show you all these little nitty-gritty details of some of the particulars that are kind of behind the scenes things that you may not have seen before. Hey guys, we want to do a couple things here. We hear all the time, can you get in a tree with limbs? What happens if your rappel rope is in a bunch of limbs? How high can you get? Are you really up that high? This is a DeWalt 30-foot tape measure. It is maxed out. I'm about 28 foot to somewhere through there. That's 29, 28 foot to my shins. Easy 27 foot. Easy 27 foot to the bottom of the platform right there, okay? Hey guys, so what I do, people ask what I do with the excess rope. It's in my duck pouch over here. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to drop it. That's 40 foot of rope. You can tell I'm up here. In fact, I've got a laser rangefinder with me. 10 yards. 10 yards to my eyeball. 30 feet, guys, to my eyeball. And I'm not sitting up. I'm crouched down. What I want to do is take my Dynaglide, drop it down. I'm going to attach right behind the rope knot here. And then I've got my night-eyes gear tie keeping this thing up tight. I'm going to take that off. So I've got my Dynaglide attached. I've got my night-eyes gear tie just undid. What I'm going to do is start backing off on the Madrock. I'm going to come down and get my stick on the way. So guys, let's time it. Here we go. I am almost 30 foot high. Here we go. Safest way down, quickest way down, and absolutely the most fun way down.